In the video prior to this one, we reunited Russia under one anarcho-communist state. But now, after Russian reunification, we've still got another objective to complete. To undo the wrongings of what the Germans did to us when we were vulnerable under the leadership of Bukharin. So, we have got many events and decisions to make before that if we want to even stand a chance of defeating the Wehrmacht and all of the Nazis' allies along with it. So we have got a lot of focus tree that will expand later in the video, but now we can start our little own invasion, and our invasion will be primarily targeted against Kazakhstan and Xinjiang. For us, we cannot invade the rest of Central Asia for now until Turkish, or however you pronounce it, is concluded. Sorry if I butcher any names in this video, by the way. But back to the video, we encircled many Kazakh divisions, and once we captured other cities, Kazakhstan would officially surrender to us, leaving only one nation left, Xinjiang. Now we're going to focus our entire army on this puny little nation, but invading this nation is kind of like walking through the Amazons, northern eastern Siberia. You get the gist of it. It was more tedious than anything. But once more, we were able to remain triumphant in our conquests, and I had to do a little tweaking just to fix the borders. So there we go, 2 nations assimilated. Now, while we're also on the topic of war and invasions, we can intervene as a free territory of Russia on the topic of the Iranian Civil War. We've got some decisions to send more volunteers and EO support, but I don't think we'll need it, for as these 7 divisions, and a few more obviously, are all we need to win this war for the communists. I know there aren't any anarchists with the Soviets in Iran, or communists, however you want to describe them, are closest to our ideology. As you know, there aren't many anarchist nations in TNO or any way format, as a matter of fact. So this is going to have to do. We're not going to invite them into our own faction. We're going to focus more on liberating them from the evils, the corrupt capitalists, the far-right theocratic states. You get the point. Oh yeah, I just want to say that anything done or said in this video is for purely educational and entertainment purposes. I do not intend any harm to anyone or anything in any way, shape or form. But now, that concludes the Iranian Civil War as a full communist or socialist victory. Now we can finally turn back to our little focus tree, which isn't going to be little for so long. For us, once we complete this focus, our focus tree will expand into many more subpaths, or however you want to describe them. But we've got 3 paths to go down, and right now I'm going to go down the middle one to focus primarily on developing our people socially. We're going to first enact a new Social Security Act, which will, as you can see, improve poverty rate throughout our nation. So does reforming our agriculture, education system, and so many other branches of our nation, which will all, in long term, improve our nation in every way, shape and form. Now with the social part of the focus tree out of the way, we can turn to the right side of the focus tree, the more economic focus trees. Now we're going to first focus on the tax issues. We are taxing the rich too little and the poor too much. I know this will harm our economy, but in the long run, this will improve the world far greater as we know it. Now, with the 9th 5-year plan and the 10th 9-year plan out of the way, we can finally look to the left side of the focus tree, focusing on our army. Now, our army right now is, I'd say, pretty decent, but decent isn't good enough if we want to even stand a chance against the Germans, who we will strive to defeat later on in this video. So we're going to primarily focus on quality of our army. Now that we've done basically all the focus is done there, we can look to the top right of our focus tree, to the diplomatic and expansionist focuses. Now, you can see we've got an event, the conclusion of Turkish Guinness. We were already gonna go focus in Asia diplomatically anyways, so I guess we may as well commence our little invasion of the rest of the remaining nations that broke away from us, from the Soviet Union in Central Asia. As we began our invasion, we would soon realize that Central Asia, as expected, stood no chance against us, just like Kazakhstan and Eastern Turkestan or Xinjiang. So, we would hastily and effortlessly capitulate all the remaining anarchist Russian traitors. Meaning, with the capitulation of all, we would, I guess, not really assimilate them. We're anarchists, freedom to the people, so we are going to puppet them or liberate them and begin a slow integration process. But that's besides the point. We've got 2 issues to go over with. One in Japan with the Far Eastern Territories, and one in China, or Eastern China. Now, as you can see, the National Chinese Republic has triumphed over Tibet and former Japanese puppets. So I'm just going to transfer Eastern Turkestan to them, meaning we've got a pretty sizable China as our puppet. Now, staying in the Eastern Chinese region, sort of Eastern China, Mongolia, or the Menjiang United Autonomous Government, or former Japanese puppet, would soon crumble to, yet again, one of our puppets. Even better yet, we will soon have our former Soviet Japanese territories that the Japanese and their allies stole from us when we were vulnerable, weak. It was impure of them to do it, but now they have given it back. But now, since we have completed all content in between, after reuniting Russia and before invading Germany, we have only got one thing left to do in this video. The main thing that we wanted to do in this video, that is toppling the Nazi regime, filled with corruption, evilness, and so many other indescribable things. So, as we commenced our invasion, I would primarily focus, or at least try to focus, on cutting off Caucasian, I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry, but I'm gonna try and reach Rostov, disconnecting them from the majority of the Reich, obviously excluding Sevastopol, but that would mean a major part of Germany's oil would fall into our hands. But looks like that the Nazis' forces were weak up north, so we would also focus on capturing the one and only city, Moscow.
Яблочко, да ты хрустальное, революция идет социальная. Революция идет социальная. Пароход плывет, да мимо пристани. Мы на фронт идем коммунистами. Мы на фронт идем коммунистами. Эх, яблочко, да оловянное. А Колчаковская власть окаянная. Появились партизаны в шапках с лентами, затрясло Колчака да с интервентами. Затрясло Колчака да с интервентами. Эх, яблочко, да укатилася, Колчаковская власть провалилась. Колчаковская власть провалилась. Эх, яблочко, да партизанские, а советская власть очень крепкая. А советская власть очень крепкая. Эх, яблочко, да проливается, пролетается, присоединяется, пролетается, присоединяется.
It was the final days of the Second West Russian War between anarchist Russia and Nazi regime. Germany was on the brink of capitulation. Now we did not want total nuclear fallout, so I would have to meet in the middle with him by not annexing their entire nation, but only getting what the Germans stole from us. I mean, this victory would still cripple the Nazi regime in the future, but to an extent where we will live and thrive for thousands of years to come, hopefully. I'm obviously not going to play that long. I will play that long if I went through every individual focus that is unlocked in a new focus tree, because there's just so much content. Props to the developers. And as you can see, look, they've got their own ideology or government type, the newly acquired puppets. And just to show you how colossal this focus tree is, here it is. I'm guessing 200 or 300 focuses are in this focus tree alone. Back in 1962, we were a small, puny, irrelevant nation on the face of this accursed globe. However, we've turned the tables and reunited Russia and toppled the Nazi government, all within the span of just over a decade. We've also puppeted the majority of China. I know it isn't the populated and industrialized regions of China, but it is still at least 50% of modern day China's territories. But Mother Anarchy lives on. The Russian Free Territory is one of, if not the strongest nations in the world right now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and